Okay, so today's topic will be on filters. So we'll see various way of filtering the data or the reports. Filtering is what you're just slicing the data. Okay, so first what we'll do is we'll take the data, that is sample superstore. Once the data is loaded, we'll go to this sheet. I'll just remove this folder. Fine. So first we'll understand what is a filter, and then we'll see different type of filters. Let's take one simple example. I'll take this region and then I'll take this sales. So we have one report here. Now I want to filter the data. Let's say I'll go here, I'll take this category and I'll put it in filters. Now I have all the values. I'll check this. I'll say okay. Now if I say edit filter and I'll select only furniture, say okay, the data will come only for furniture here. Let me take subcategory here instead of region. Now let me filter. I'll go here, I'll say edit filter and I'll take only technology. I'll get only data for technology. Now let me go here, I'll say edit filter, I'll say for office supplies and I'll get data only for office supplies. This is called as filters. Like in Excel, what we do, we just go to the data, just try to filter some data and then we'll get the filtered data. Similarly, here also we can do filters in different types. I'll tell you what are the different type of filters we have. This is just an example what I showed so that you'll understand what is a filter. Let's go to this data source. So from here we can start the filters. That is right from the data what we import. One is we have this live and here I have this filters. So this is called as data source filters. Data source filters means while importing the data, say once I connected the data, so I can add some filters here and I can filter the entire data here, which will continue with the other reports as well with the filtered data only. Next one, we have something called as extract. Here I can filter the data by the extracted data. That means when I'm offline, I'm taking the data to my local system. I can just edit only few data which I'll be working on offline. Then I can say filter that data as well. Fine. Next filter, you go here. Just make it live. Okay. Let's change this to live. Next filter is a dimension filter. So just now we saw that category what we filtered. So those kind of filters are called as dimension filters. Then we have something called as measure filters where I can filter the data or say reports by measures as well. So apart from this, we also can filter by table calculations or by if conditions as well. So that we'll see when we come to this formula. Now what we'll see how we can actually use this filters, that is by using this data source, extract, dimension and the measure. Fine. First we'll see how we can filter the data, that is by data source. What you have to do is just you have to go and click on this. Say once I import the data, here I have something called as filters. Just click on this. Say I'm not added any filters here, it says 0. Let's say add. When I say add, I'll get one small window like this which will ask me to add the filters. Let's say add. It will give me so many options here. I can select any of the options. Say for example, I want the reports to be generated only by few regions, not all the regions. I'll select this region and I'll say okay. It will ask on what regions you're trying to filter the say reports. I'll select I want east and west and then I'll say okay. If I say okay, only these two regions will be filtered. Now suppose if you want to exclude this, I can use this exclude. Let's click on this. This will be excluded. Now it is central and south. So why these options are actually used, I'll show you. When I'm using say state or when there are many values like this, see there are so many values. In this I want to include few things, then I can go here, select whichever is required. But suppose if you think that there are more number of selections to be done, but only few things has to be excluded. Say only this has to be excluded, so I don't have to go and keep selecting all the options like this. Say this one, like this. So whichever is not required, I can just say exclude. So rest all will be selected. This will be excluded. So depending on the selections what you want to do, you can plan whether I want this to be as include or exclude. Right. Now we understood about include or exclude. So what we'll do, we'll go here. I'll just take only state, the region. So that will be easy for us to know how the data is filtered. Let's say, okay, I'll select this east and west. I'll say, okay. Now a filter is added. That is, you can see this data source filters. I'll say, okay. You can say this, there is one filter got added. So you can keep adding multiple filters. There is, you can keep adding the filters here. Go to edit, again you can say add, one more filter will be added here, or you can go select this, you can edit the existing filter as well. Now I filter this data. Now what we'll do, we'll go here, I'll click on this sheet. Now let's take the data and see, let me just drag this region and I'll put it here. I'll get only these two regions. This will be doing when we feel that the whole report whatever we are generating is only on these two regions. Otherwise what will happen, I have to go here, I have to filter the data every time. But once I do this, the entire report whatever we are generating, or say the dashboard, or say the story what we are creating, will be only on these two regions what we have selected, that is east and west. This is one way of filtering. Here I can do multiple filters. Say add, suppose if you want the sales, let's go here. Say it says from 0.852 to 13,000 something. So I want the reports, say the sales from $1,000 to $5,000 only. Now I'll say okay. Now there is one more filter added. In east and west, I want sales which are from 1,000 to 5,000. I'll say okay. Now you can see there are two filters which got added. Now the reports whatever I'm generating here, that will be between these two values only, that is from 1,000 to 5,000 only. Now if I take this sales and if I put it here, the value what I'm getting here, this will be between these two, that is from 1,000 to 5,000 only. Right, let's go here, say edit. I want to remove this. Let me go here, I'll say remove and I'll say okay. It got refreshed. Let's go and check. You can see the value got changed. Previously it was some 2 lakh or something change. Now I'm getting the complete values. Now let's go here. I'll select this and say remove, say okay. Now I'll get all the 4 regions. Fine. This is data source filters. You can filter on any of these columns depending on your requirement. You can filter the data. Fine. Extract. This is another way of filtering. So this extract, what the extract is, it will actually extract the data to my local system when I'm actually connecting offline. So in that case, I can extract only that data which I'll be working on to test the tool, or say to develop the dashboard or reports. Now I have this edit. I'll click on this edit. It is exactly similar to my this add whatever is there, but here it will ask, say I'll go here, say single table. Now I'll go here, I'll say add. Now here I can keep adding the filters. Let's say here also we'll take this region and say okay. Now here I'll say east and west, or we'll take something else, say central and south. Here I have the same option. It will be similar to what we have in our ad. So here it says central and south I selected. I'll say okay. If you want I can add more say filters. I'll say sales and I'll say okay. Here let's say from 5,000 to 10,000 I need. I'll say okay and then say okay. Right. Now this value whatever is filtered, see I have only 7 records here with that filters whatever we have here. Let me select this. I'll say edit. We'll make it as 1,000 and 10,000. I'll see how many records we'll get. See now the record got in uh, increased to 164. So this is another way of filtering the data. That is, now if I go here, it will ask for, say, I'll just save this data because this data will get saved in the local system. And let's go to this sheet. Now I can see only central and south is getting filtered. So this is for the data part. That is, it can be a data source filter or extract filters, which will be very useful when you think that the entire project or entire dashboard has to be filtered. Right. Now let's take this live and let's take all the data and we'll see how to use other filters, that is dimension or measures and more other filters which are used. Let me go here. And again guys, filter is a very easy chapter, so you don't have to bother too much, but it is very much required when you're actually trying to filter the reports. Okay, fine. Let's start understanding this filters by using dimensions. What we'll do, we'll take this subcategory and I'll put it here. And then I'll take the sales and I'll put it here. We saw this example. Now we'll take the category and I'll put it here in filters. Now it is asking me for what are the values I need to filter. Let me select all the values, or we have this all, say none or all. This also you can do. And we also saw this exclude. So why we actually use this exclude is, if you want to exclude something, you can just exclude this. Let's say okay. Now here I've selected all the values, so I'm getting all the values in category, the subcategory as well. Let me remove this, say okay. I'll get only the values which are for furniture. So this example we saw. This is a simple dimension filter, that is just filtering the data here. Now let's take, I'll remove this, I'll put this category here. I have all the 4 or say 3 categories. Now let me take the region here and I'll select all the values. The first filter what we saw was, it was filtering the data itself. Means when I filtered the category, then I had this subcategory, so whatever subcategories were there, only that used to filter. But if you see this data, the categories can be available in all the regions. Say for example, this furniture can be in all the regions. Office supplies and technology also can be in all the regions. But when I try to filter, now this complete value, or say this complete say furniture or something, will not get filtered because they are available in almost all the regions. If it is not there, then only I'll not get this report. But if it is there, say I'll go here, edit filter. For example, this furniture will be available in all these 4 regions. That means if I'm just removing this central or west, this will not disappear because it is available in these 2. But what will happen when I select on only these 2? The report will get aggregated only based on these 2 regions. Now I'll say okay. See, the values are getting reduced because I've reduced the number of selections. That means when I use this dimension, I'm just trying to select these values here, any of these values, and if I say okay, this is getting filtered. There are more customized filters. We'll talk about it. But before that, what we'll do is, every time I'll go here and say edit filter, I'll be keep selecting here. Instead of that, there is an option where I can use the controls. Means for a report, I can use a control where I can use it as a drop down, or I can use it as a checkbox or whatever, instead of again and again going to these filters. When I actually publish, or when I actually embed somewhere, or if I give it as a dashboard or a story, so this design, whatever is there, this will not be there for the user. So you'll be using the controls to filter the data. But where is it? That we'll see now. Just go here. Here we have an option called as show filter. Let me click on the show filter. Once I click on the show filter, you can see there are the options which get selected here. That is, if you go here, say I had this central, east, southwest, whatever, I'll get it here. Now instead of going to this filters and selecting it, I'll just select it here only. See, central. You can see that the data is getting updated here like this. This is for multi-selection checkbox. We call it as checkbox. Now I want to change, say, I want to make it as a single selection. Single selection in the sense only one selection at a time. I want to see the report. So here, if you go here, this is like I'm selecting central and east. So it is combined report. I don't want to do like this. I want only for east. I have to restrict the user to select only one selection. So if you want to do that, there are so many options to do that. What we'll do is, let me select this all. That means I'm getting all the reports here, I mean all the values combined for all the 4 regions. Here I have a small arrow here. Click on that. If I click on this, I'll get so many other options. Let's understand this, because all these options, almost all the options are very, very important. Because when you are creating these reports, you don't have to write any programs or anything. All these things are available, ready-made. My intention was to have a single selection. Let's select this single value. You can see this. This becomes like a option button or a radio button. We call it as option button or radio button. Here I have the central, east, whatever. And suppose if you want to have all, you can go and click all. But you cannot do multi-selection here. So whenever you feel that my control or say my selections to be done, the filters has to be done by the selections, that is single selection, multi-selection, then I can change the control however I want. Fine, let's go here. If my requirement is about single selection, but I need a drop down. Why we use this drop down, I'll tell you. So what will happen when I'm creating a dashboard? Let me just go here. I'll just change this to selection, that is like this. Let me go to my dashboard and I'll just drag this report and I'll put it here. You can see that the control, what you see here, see, it is occupying a lot of space. Now I don't want something like this. Let's say I'll just close this. Let me take this as a floating value like this. We take this and I'll keep it here. See, it is occupying a lot of space here. I don't want this to happen. I want a very small space. Then what I'll do, I'll go here, I'll change this to drop down. When I change this to drop down, what will happen? I'll have very less space now. Say it will occupy very less space. Let me just go here, drag and drop. I'll just increase this, then select this. Let me keep it, this drop down somewhere here. See, like this. Now we can select this. I'll get the result like this. So whatever controls you're using, whatever these filters you're using, you should also plan about this as well in the beginning only, so that the same thing can be used in my dashboard and in the story as well. If you go to this story, here also I'll be using similar kind of thing. Say, take this dashboard. See, here I'll get this. So if it was a big list here, then it will occupy a lot of space. So you have to think what controls I need to use for these filters. This is drop down. If I go and click on this, I'll get a drop down like this. Let's select this. You have this slider. This mainly will be using for a very less data. Say in this case, I have only 4 entities or say 4 regions. Then I can use this slider. But don't try this for multiple values. Say we had that state, say 50, 60 values and all. Don't try this slider. But I'll show you how this slider will work. It is just something like this. See, just sliding. I can go here. I can slide like this. So based on this slider, this value also will get keep update. So this is another type of control. So this you can use, say, when you have very less data. So you can just use this as a slider like this. If you have multiple values, then don't try this. I'm not telling it won't work, but it will be a little difficult, or say it will not be that reliable for using those kind of controls. Right. Next one, we have multiple values list. We saw this by default. What we got is the default one, the default control what we have here. You can select like this. Next one we have is multi-value dropdown. We saw the list here. This list actually is occupying space. but I want an option such a way that it should be occupying very less space, but still I want this list. Then I can go and I can use this multi-values with drop-down. If you click on this, see, I'll get this list. I can do multi-selection as well. So this will be very useful when you think that the report has to be using multiple selections, and then also it should occupy less space. Fine. Next one, let's go here. We have this multi-values custom list. I can use this custom list means I can just go and type here, say east. See, it will come. I can select this. I'll get the result here. That is something like a wildcard what we have. Say plus, I can go and I can say central. See, it'll give me that result here. This is like selection. If you want to give anything like a search button, say here I have this search button, something like this, I can go and I can use this. It is something like a search what we have. Next one is wildcard. So wildcard means it is like you can put a star or something. Say in Excel we have that say star means any character. Say east and I'll put the star. Say enter. See, whatever regions are there with starting with E and any characters in the end, then I'll get the result here like this. I'll show you when you put this more data, the customer, again I'll come and I'll show you. Here I have only one say region with starting with E, so I'll get only this. If I say C and star and say enter, see, it is coming as central. This will be central selection like this. So these are the different say options what we have. Let's say I'll go here, I'll select again this multiple values. I can do this selection. Apart from this, there are more other selections. Say here, I say custom, say show all. I have this all. I don't want this all. Click here, say custom, and then I'll remove this. See, now I'll not have that all option. Whenever you think that my reports should not have all the selections, especially when I have this list, see, here I have only single selection. I should not have all the selections. Then I can remove that all. If you want again, you can get it back, no problem. Then here I have this search button. So we saw one search button there. Suppose if I don't want the search button, you can remove that as well. Likewise, there are so many options which you can check this and you can say filter the values. Usually it will be like a normal filters, whatever is there here, we just use that and we can play around with the filters here. This is for the controls. Now let's see more options. Let me remove this region and let me take this state so that we'll have more values. Now if you see here, I have so many values, almost some 49 or something. Okay, 49 values are there. You can see here, selected of 49 values. Field is state. Wildcard, I'm saying it is all. Condition, here we have this wildcard, condition and top. So all these are all, and we are not given any say filters here. This is for the selection, that is general one. Selection from list. Let me select these three like what we did for our region, and let's select something here and something here. I'll say okay. So depending on this selection, the number of states whatever you have selected, this will get filtered. For this again, I can go here, I'll say show filter, I'll get this filter like this. Here I can select these values. Now apart from this, there are more other options as well. Let me click here, say edit filter. Let's go and check this. Here I have something called as custom value list. The custom value list is nothing but, say I have so many values here, I just want only few values to be filtered. Let me select this. Here it says add the text or whatever, say clear the list. I cleared everything. That is because, see, if I go here, let's say none, Let me select few of them and go to this custom value list. See, those three will come here. Now, if you want to enter something, say for example, let's take Kansas. Go here, I'll type Kansas and say add. See, that will get added. I can add the list here and then I can filter the data as well. Either I can select the list here, say I want to add this Texas, then go here. See, Texas will be added here. If you want to type and add, but make sure that you'll have the proper name. Okay, so I was telling that we can have this custom list by selecting it. So I can just select, and if I go here, I'll get the list here. Now if I say okay, see, only these values, that is the custom list, whatever we had, that will be available here. So based on that, the report is getting filtered. Fine. Next, let's go here and see some more type of filters here. Let's click here, say edit filter. Now here, after this, I have one more, something called as use all. This is like I'm using all the values here, no filters. You can see a selection all. Let's say okay. See, I'm using all this, no filters. Edit filter. Now we saw how to use this selection from list, then custom value list, and also we saw how to use this use all. Let's come to this wildcard. This wildcard we actually saw in the selections. There's a wildcard. So what we'll do here, I have this contains, starts with, ends with, exactly matches. I want to filter all the values or say all the states which is starting with S. Just mention that as S. I'll say okay. See, you can say this, it says S star. We tried there with the region, say E star or S star or whatever. Now if you see this, whatever values are getting filtered here, all the values, all the states which are starting with S, that will be given. Let's go here. I'll say edit filter. Now if you want to filter all the data which is ending with say ES, say apply and see, there are no states with the ending with ES. Let's say IN, apply, yes, there are few. Let's go here, see, say okay, I'll get the result. Edit filter. Now let's go to this wildcard. Contains. Contains means it can be anywhere. Anywhere in that word. Say I'll use ARE. Say apply. Yes, there are few. If none of them are there, then it will not show anything. Now since we have the values here, I'll say okay. So this is wildcard. Wildcard means I can give a specific value or say starts with or ends with, and I can filter the data as well. Right. Let's go here. Say edit filter. I have something called as condition. The condition filters are based on the conditions what we apply. That is based on criteria. It can be say greater than this value, less than this value, or the value is something like this. In this, I have one option that is by formula. This will cover once we finish our formula class. That is a function class. But we'll see how we can filter the data based on the condition. Here, you have to clear all. Otherwise, even this filters will also be applied. Now, let's say contains ARE, and if you go here, see, it will be mentioned here. The final filters, whatever will happen, it will be based on this summary. So make sure that sometimes what will happen, you would have given some wildcard and you're not getting the right result because of you have given some condition. Then don't get afraid or panicked. Go and check this summary first. Here I given this ARE. If you think that this is required, keep it. Otherwise, clear it off. Coming to this condition, I've given it as none. That means I have not applied any condition. Let's go to this by field. I can select any values here. Usually we use this for the measures to filter. I'm saying sales values and the aggregation will happen on sum, or you can select any of this. Let's say sum. I'll say if the sum is equals to, not equals to, less than equal to, greater than or equal to. Let's say greater than or equal to. I'm saying all the values with the sales which has got the sum greater than, let's give some 3 lakhs. I'm just giving this. If it is not available, then we'll try to change the values. Let's say apply. You just apply so that you will know whether it is filtered or not. Applying, let's see. Yes, we have. So all the values which are greater than 3 lakhs will be available. That means this one, the state value, I'm telling, not with this category. So if you want, you can just put the state here and you'll get this. So any values aggregation of this state, that will be with greater than 3 lakh will be available here. Right. So this is another way of filtering. See, sum of sales. If you want, I'll just put this state here and category here. Let's say all, say okay. And then, okay, we have given the filters here for this. So filter condition greater than or equal to, let's make it as 1 lakh as of now. Right. So you can see the C. Previously I'd given this filter for state, that's why it was showing even the 2 lakhs also. Now you can see anything, any value above 2 lakhs will be shown here like this. Now let me go and change this to 3 lakh. Say apply. See, only those values which are above 3 lakhs will be shown. Right? Okay, let me remove this category and we'll put it here. Just to make you guys understand, because here when I gave it was coming as 2.5 lakhs also. So this is nothing but the state value what we have aggregated, not the category value. So you should not get confused with these things as well. Right. Now say edit filter. So we understood about the condition as well. Here condition I can give anything, say equals. I want specific value. Then I can give this specific value as well here. Not equals to, less than. Say if you want anything less than 3 lakh, can give like this. So you can mention any of these operators to get the values here. Fine. Let me just change few things here. I'll just put state here because I need to check the top 10 values. W. Now I want to filter the top 10 values here by state itself. Let me just take this, hold control and drag and drop, and then I'll say okay, this is all values. Let's click here, edit filter. I'll go to this top. I have the same option what I have here with condition. Here I'll have with top as well. But here in the condition we'll have these conditions, that is greater than equals to whatever. I'll go here, say by field. You click on this, see top and bottom. Only these two will be there. But in condition we'll have the the fields I can select. Let's go to this top. I'll say I want top 10. Again, this is applied to the state field. Now here it says sales sum. That means the top 10 or whatever I'm actually calculating, that is based on this field, that is sales. Now sales sum means whatever the aggregated values are there, in that I'm trying to take top 10 values. I'll say okay. Right, let's check this. That is because I told you have to remove this condition, right? Okay, that's what I was not getting. So what happened here? I had given a condition saying that greater than 3 lakh on the top 10 I was trying to check. That's why it was not coming. Let's go here and say apply. See, now I'm getting this top 10. So you should be very careful. So you have to check the summary. So here we made a mistake that here I had selected greater than 3 lakh and I was trying to check on that top 10. So that's why the result was not coming. Now you can say this. Say okay. You can go here. You can say show filter. See, here it gives me top 10 by sum. So likewise, you can use this dimension filter that is for only one dimension here. Either I can use general. In general, I can say select by text, then custom value list, or I can go to this wildcard, then I can apply some condition, or I can take top 10 and I can filter the values. Say, so. All right, let me remove all this. Now what we'll do, we'll take two-dimensional, we'll see. Let's take region, say all, say okay. Let me take one more. We'll take this state, put it here. Let's say all, say okay. Now I got two dimension. Previously I was filtering data by one dimension. Now we'll see how to do this with multiple. Let's say multiple because I can add more filters as well. Fine. Now what we'll do, we'll go here. I'll take this subcategory and then I'll take this sales value and let me sort it. I have some values here like this. Now here I'll say show filter and I can select whichever region I want. Fine. Now let me go here. I'll say show filter for state as well. Let me just take this and I'll put it in the bottom. Now you can see I have two filters. Let me go here. I will select south. Now I want to filter the state. Let me remove this. I'll select something here. I won't get. Let me select something here. I'm getting. So here I'll select. Here there is a confusion. When I say south, and I will get the result only when I select a south region, south state only. See, okay, this comes under south region. Then I'm getting this result. Now let me remove this, and I'll say west. I'll not get the result. Now I have to select whichever states are there, which is with state only. I'll get the result. Instead of this, what we'll do is we'll try to filter these values itself. When I select central, I should get only central, the states which are related to central. If you want to do that, so what we'll do is let's select all this. Here we have one small arrow here. Click on this. If you go and check this, I have this only irrelevant values. I can do this here. I'll just select this. Let me remove this. See, nothing is there. Let me click on this central. See, I'm getting only those values which are related to central. Let me click on this east. See, now if you go here, select these things, I'll get results because whatever state I have here, that is only for east. Right, let me select this. See, I'm getting on. Now let's go to central and south. I'm getting both. So you can enable this kind of option. Just go to this and say only relevant values. You say all values in the database, then again see, it'll give me all the values, it will not filter. This can be done for multiple selections as well. So it's not only for only two dimension. Why I've given this two dimension here that is related to this is it will be easy for you to understand. Let's try one more filter like this. So I have this category and subcategory. Select all and I'll select this subcategory. Say all, say okay. Now let me click on this and say show filter. And here I'll say show filter. Let me rearrange this. See, I'll say furniture, office is not getting filtered. So what I'll do, I'll go here and I'll say only relevant values. Now let's try. See, so anything you feel that they are hierarchy, something like a hierarchy, then you can use these kind of selections as well. Apart from this, there is one more option as well. Say apply to worksheet, apply to this data source, apply to related data source. This also we can try and use this, which will help me in filtering like this. So we saw this filters. Let me just remove these things. Right. Next one, we'll see how we can use this filters by measures. Same thing like what we do for say dimensions, we can do this for measures as well. But in measures, we cannot go and say, for example, I'll go and I'll say sales. I cannot have that list saying that 10, 20, 30, 40, like what we have that dimension we do. Here we had different kind of options. Say all values or aggregated values. Let me just say next, I'll not filter anything. I'll say okay. A filter is here. I'm not filtered anything. Let me take say subcategory itself, and then I'll take the sales. Okay. Let me sort it. Now let's try to filter this. Go here, click on this, say edit filter. We have four options. Range of values. I can select the range from this range to this range. At least. At least means the maximum value will be fixed. The starting value I can fix like this. And I can change it. At most means here the starting value, the minimum value is fixed. The maximum value I can adjust. Special, if I have any null values or non-null values, if you want to filter, then I can use these options. Let's concentrate on these three because I don't have any null values here. So I'll go here, range of values. This is not aggregated. Say, let me remove this, I'll put it here. If you go here, I'm saying all values. It is not aggregated. Now when I say not aggregated, that means in the whole table, if you see here, let me just open this table. We are trying to filter this sales value, here, whatever sales value I have here, this one. Individual values we are trying to filter by individual values. That means I'll take this sales value and I'll put it here. I'll say all values, say next, and here I have this range of values. Let's say I want to do the analysis or say create reports with all the sales value in the line items from 1000 to 5000. Say apply. See, this is what I'll have the report, that is all the values from 1000 to 5000 only will be taken. Let me say 2000 and say apply. You can say this, see, they are getting reduced like this. This is for the range. I'll say okay. Let's say at least and at most. I'll say at least. See, the maximum value somewhere it will be 22,638 is the highest sales what has happened in that line item. The minimum value is something like this. Let me go here. I'll say anything above 15,000. That is at least 15,000. I'll say apply. Just see. See, only these two subcategories are above 15,000 till the maximum value. Yeah, this two. This is at least. I can change this. Say, let me just change this to 10,000 or whatever. Apply. Okay. Let we still increase. Slowly I'm getting some more subcategories. See, like this. So you can filter based on the dimension. This is at least. At most. At most means the minimum value will be fixed. From this minimum value to the maximum value, just trying to take some maximum value like this. Let's say from minimum value up to 1000. I want to know the results here. Let's say apply. There are so many. That is from minimum value to 1000. Let me just make it 100 and we'll see there are any values. Yes, there are. Say okay. Let's come here. For this also we have the controls. Let's say show filter. See, let me drag this. We can create the ranges like this as well. Let's go here. See, this is at most. Let's say range of values. Same thing, the three options, whatever was there. Range of values from one range to another range. I can select it. Same thing if you go to this dashboard. Let me remove this. Take this and I'll put it here. I can keep this control top and then I can change this like this. If you would have seen nowadays in most of the dashboards, that COVID-19 dashboards, you can see these kind of sliders. Say I want to know the number of death or number of people who are recovered or something. You can just go here and you can keep changing the date or even the ranges as well. Okay, you can see that you can just go to net and see these kind of controls they have used. Fine, let's come back. This is for all values. Similarly, I can do this for aggregated values. Aggregating means the total values. Let me take this sales and I'll put it here and I'll select this sum. I'll say next. Now you can see that the values are changed. Previously, the values are totally different. Let me take this sales and I'll put it here. Say all values. Say next. Here it will give me the minimum value and the maximum value. But if I take this one and if I go here, say aggregate and say next, this will give me the aggregated values, that is based on this subcategory here. Complete aggregated values. Now here also I'll have same options, but here only thing is it will take the aggregated values. Now let's say I want the values from say 5,000 to 1 lakh. This is aggregating the values. Let's say apply. See, you can see this, see, from which are from 5,000 to 1 lakh. See, let me change this to 50,000. Say apply. See, whatever value up to 50,000 only will come here. This is by aggregating the values. Previously I was getting so many records here, even with the 22,000 whatever was there, that is the highest. That is because that is each value. So after that it was getting aggregated, it was getting filtered here. At least same thing like what we have, the maximum value will be fixed and I can go here, I can filter this. Let's say I want to filter all the values above 3 lakh. Say apply, only 2 records are there above 3 lakh. At most the minimum value is fixed and I can go here, I can fix this. Let's say up to 10,000. Then apply, only one value is there, that is from 3,000 to 10,000. Let me make it 25,000 and see. I have these records. So likewise I can use this measure as well for filters. Next is we have date as well. We can filter by date. That is again it's a dimension. I'll go here. Let's take order date somewhere. We'll have take this similar to my say what is that the measures what we took, that is the sales. Here I have this one is with the measure or with the dimension, say values which I can filter. Let's say relative date or range of dates. Select anything, no problem. These two are same. Let me just select this. You'll go here. See relative and range. Anything you can take. Starting date, ending date. Again, special is about null values or whatever. Let's go with this relative dates. Relative date means I can specifically mention which year data I need, which quarter data I need, which month data I need. From this month, say previous 3 months. Let me select this year. Here it says previous year, this year, next year. I don't think we have this year data, previous year data, or next year. So it is up to 2018 is the data what I have in the database. So here I'll say last 3 years data. Last 3 years. Say okay. See we have that data. Last 3 years means I'm getting this 2018 data as well here. Edit filter. Next 3 year data. If you have data for next 3 years, suppose if you want to say see the data for next 3 years, you can see here say 1/1/2020 to 31/12/2022 data. If I have, then I can filter that. Say last 3 years data, you can see the see 1/1/2018 to 2020 December 31st. I can increase or decrease as well. See here like this, you can increase say last 6 months data. So sorry, last 6 years data. Fine. Year to date. Year to date means from Jan 1st of 2020 till today's date. So you guys should have heard about YTD. So this is YTD. YTD means from Jan 1st, 2020 of this year till today. What is the the results? So based on that, I can filter. Here I don't have any data. If I say apply, I'll get 0 results. Quarter. Let's say by quarter, if you want to filter, let's say previous quarter. So let's say this is quarter 2, then previous quarter I'll say the quarter 1 data. So this quarter, that is this quarter's data, whatever is there. Say January, February, March will be one quarter, then April, May, June, another quarter. Now it is July, that is third quarter. July, August, September is third quarter, and October, November, December is the say fourth quarter, like that. So I don't have data here. So if I filter this, it will not come. But again, I'll go here and say last 6 quarters. This also I don't think so it will come. Say last 24 quarters. You can see the data here. We will take last 8 quarters. Yeah, now it will come. That is 2008 to 2020. That is October 2018. You say apply. I have the data here. So I'm getting the data. Then we have this QTD, that is quarter to date. That is, you can see the 1st July 2020. That is the third quarter what we are in, up to the next quarter whatever is there. That is 19/7/2020. That is till date. From this starting date of the quarter till date. This is QTD. Let's take month. Month, we have this relative month. Say this month, previous month, next month, or last 8 months, 12 months, whatever you can specify here. So based on that, the filters will happen. MTD means month to date. Say from starting of this month till this date. So in this case, QTD and MTD will be same because that is the starting month. That is starting month of the quarter. If it was next month, then it will be like 1/7/2020 to till date. But the month will be 1st August 2022 till date, like that. Weeks. Weeks again, it is like if you want to filter something, this week data, you will be creating some weekly reports. So in that case, I can say previous week, this week, next week, or whatever. Say last 3 weeks, last 8 weeks, or whatever. We can specify that. Then again, we have WTD, that is week to date. That is starting of this week till the date. So today is Sunday. So it is saying 19/7/2020. That means only one day report will come. This tomorrow, then we'll say 9/7/2020 to 27/2020. That is up to this weekend. Right. Days. You can filter by days as well. That is today, yesterday, tomorrow, last say 7 days data, last 3 days data. That also you can filter. So this is relative dates. Range of dates. Like what we have range of values here, I can specify range of dates. In this case, it will specify the minimum value and the maximum value. So this will help us in filtering the data easily. If you go to this relative, then you have to specify, okay, the last year data, previous year data, or say month, week, or whatever. But if you go to this range of dates, then I can specify from this range to this range and in the report. I can also click here, I can specify. I can type here if you want, you can go here, say 2018, January 1st to December, say whatever this, right, sorry, closed it, edit filter, so just mention 2018, January 1st to 30/12/2018, I'll say apply, see, this is the data what I have. This is range of date. I can specify, I can go here, I can just change this like this, say apply. So whatever data is there, whatever data is available within this range, only that will be filtered here. Right. Starting date. I can specify from which date it has to start. See, like this. If you see here, it will give me the minimum value here. But again, when I drag this, see, so I can specify the starting date, the ending date, the maximum date will be fixed. Like we have this at most, at least. Ending date. So I'll go here. I'll just try to drag this. Say ending date. I can fix it here. Here again, it will give me the starting date and the the minimum date and the maximum date, and I can give specifically which is the ending date I want to get the result here. See, like this. Say okay. Now for this also we have that control. Click on this show filter. Here I'll get this like this. So this is something based on the measures. Let me remove this. There is some interesting part also here in this date. Let me take this order date and I'll put it here. Now I have this dimension wise, means the value wise. Let me select this year and see what will happen. I'll say next. See here. Now I can select this as a values that is based on the years. Like what we did the selection for text. Similarly, I can do it. Say select this and say OK. Here I will make it as show filter. See, I want 2015 data. I want 2016 data. 17, 18. Again, we have these controls here which I can take it like this. Say single selection. All this will depend on whatever selections you're doing or whatever filters you are trying to do. Fine. Let's go here. Say edit filter. Here also I can apply condition like what we did. Say all condition. See, based on the condition. So I've selected 2015. In all the year, I want the sales value which are greater than or equal to 50,000. See, what I've done here, I've selected all the values here. I can also filter, say whatever, but I'm giving condition saying that it should be greater than or equal to 50,000. I've applied a condition here. If you go and check this, say it says selected all four values, then the condition is sum of sales is greater than or equal to 50,000. Say apply. Say okay. Here in all these years, greater than or equal to 50,000, it is coming. Say I'll go here. Let me remove this. See, in 2018, here we are seeing all the values that is greater than or equal to 50,000. Like this. Select this. Let's go here and I'll say edit filter. I can also use this top 10. Let me remove this. It's none. I can say top 5 values and say apply. Say okay. This is for this value, that is for the year, not for this category, because you're not given the condition here for the category. You are given condition for this one. So if you go and take this value here and then apply, sorry, let's take this, put here. So here we'll get something like this. Let's say Control Z. Okay. Next, let me remove this and we'll take this. Yes. Now we'll take this quarters or month, days or whatever. So similar to whatever we have, all these options we can use. Say I'll go here, I'll say month and say next. So you have this January, February, March. Now I'll say okay. Now just observe this. Say edit filter. I'll select all and say okay. Now let me take this show filter. Here I have this January. If I click on this January, I am getting the January values of all the years. It's not that January 2015, 16 or 17. It is for all the years. But I want the January of 2015 only, 2018 only. Then what I have to do? I'll take this order date, put it here and say yes. Select all, say okay. Just rearrange this and I'll tick show filter. See, now if I say 2015, see, this is only for 2015 January, 2016 January. So if you want 2015 and 16 both, then I can select this. I want February, see, select this. So don't use only the month year unless and until you feel that. Just close this. This will be like aggregated, that is complete all the years data I'll get. So when you're using these filters, you should be very careful. Now let me take this and make a quarter. Say quarter, say next, say all, say okay. Now let me go here, say show filter. Let's say quarter one. We remove this. Say June, July, August. It will not come. Now let me go here. I'll take this quarter one. Say January, February, March. I'll get. But if I take April, it should not come. See. So for this, what I'll do? I'll go here. I'll say only relevant values. Now if I say quarter two, I'll get only quarter two here. Like this. So you have to play around with these things and then understand the filters properly. Fine. So we understood about the dimension. In that we saw the text, the date. In date also we saw how to use this in measures and also in say dimension. Then we saw the measure filters. Now let's try one more kind of filter which is called as context filters. What is this context filters? Let's understand. Let me take one value, say state, and I'll put it here and we'll take this sales. Let's sort it. Now I have so many values here. Now we'll try to filter this by region. I'll say all and say okay. Let's say show filter. If I say central, I'm getting this central. If I say east, I'm getting the east value, or south or west or whatever. Now what we'll do is we'll say we'll take this state and I'll put it here, or let it be here. We'll try to filter the top 10 values. here the top 10 values of this state. Say filter, and I'll say top, let it be 10. So we know this, just I'm taking this top 10 of this state, I'll say okay, right? Now here I'm getting 10 values. Say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Fine. Very good. Now when I say top 10 values, let me go here. I'll just remove this. I'll take this center. You can see this, I'm getting only 3 values. Let me take this east. I'm getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Then I'll take this south. Then I have this 2 more added. I think 2 more added. Yes. Then let me take this west. Then 2 more added. That means in central I have 3 values. Then in east I have 3 values. In south I have 2 values. And in west I have 2 values. That means totally I'm getting 10. But I don't want the result like this. I want the result top 10 of central. If I click on this, I should get top 10 of this. If you want the result of east, then it should be top 10 of east. If you want to do something like this, then we have something called as context filters. Context means whatever I'm selecting, only for that this filter should get applied. This is again not a complex one, it is very simple one. What you have to do is just this region, whatever is there, select this and make it add to context. Again, be very careful when you are using this context, you should understand properly. Okay, it's not that for everywhere this context will work. You should have the proper selections here. Since I have the hierarchy here, I'm getting the result. If it is not in hierarchy, then you might not get the proper results. I'll go here, I'll say context. Now let's go and filter and see. See, I'm getting 10 values here, that is top 10. Let me remove this. I'll say east, see, south and west. Everywhere I'm getting 10 values. That means if you are trying to do some reports like this, then I have to use this context. If I'm not using this context, let me remove this context. Say remove. Now you just see I'll get only 3 results, or say 4, whatever. Let me convert this into context. Now if I go here, see, like this. Let me take this to my dashboard. Remove this. Take this right here. Now I'll select central, east, west, like this. So you should plan accordingly the filters. So these are the possible filters what we have in, say, Tableau. Apart from this, there are more other filters that we'll cover in the next sessions. That is, if I go here, we have this actions. Action filter means based on the action it has to filter the reports, or based on the selections I should get some other results. So likewise, I have filters in dashboards as well. Here the actions. So there are one more set of filters which you should know after a few sessions that I'll be telling you in the coming sessions. Okay, so this is the filters what we have for this tab.